Hey yogis and yoga enthusiasts, welcome to our yoga vocabulary and extension on our last video on bandhas. Quick overview, bandhas are locks for and ways to pull up energy. We're going to delve deep into the 5 different bandhas into 5 different videos. Today's video we are going over our Pada Bandha. So your Pada Bandha, bandha meaning your lock, pada meaning feet. So you also may hear a teacher say something about, pada. It's not very frequent, like they will be like, grab your pada, but maybe, I don't know your teacher. Who knows? I've never done it in a class I've taught. I have told people to engage with their Pada Bandha, so you may have heard that. So when your teachers are telling you to engage your Pada Bandha, it's to engage the lock in your feet. How does one do this? So your feet, think about the anatomy of your feet. You've got your toes. Where my hand will be my foot. You have your toes. You have doesn't make a good foot. I'll just use my foot. So you have your toes. And then along your big toe side, you have your arch. It's your medial arch. You technically have a few arches, like you have a lateral arch, transverse arch. But the main arch we'll be talking about is this guy. So you have your medial arch, you've got the ball of your foot, you have your heel. This would be your big toe mound, which would be the ball of your foot on the big toe side. I don't know if anyone says little toe mound, but if they do, this is where it would be. And then obviously your toes. So when engaging your Pada Bandha, you're thinking about engaging into the 4 corners of your feet. Bring the foot back up. So that would be on either side of your heel, but really the whole heel should be grounded. Either side of the ball of your foot, but again, really your whole ball of your foot should be grounded, and really the pinky edge should be pretty grounded. Because there is an arch there, that's why you really want to focus at least in the 4 corners. Your toes, you want to think about lifting them up and spreading them out wide, not just so your toes are spread, but the way the anatomy of your foot works, similar to your hand, you have your phalange bones, and then for your feet, you've got metatarsals. And between your metatarsal, like this one metatarsal, this metatarsal, there's just connective tissue and soft tissue. It's not bone. So if you spread nice and wide, you widen your foot. So it gives you a little bit more ability to really ground your foot into the earth. So you lift your toes, spread them wide, ground them down, ground into the 4 corners of your foot, and thinking about engaging your arch. So you think about that space. It's not just the big toe edge of your foot. You're also even thinking about in the middle of your foot, thinking about that lifting up. And that lifting up with rooting down in the corners of your feet and your toes is engaging your Pada Bandha. So it's in your foot lock. However, the action and the muscle engagement isn't just in your feet, because you're using the muscles on the inside of your shin bone. So if you feel your bone, that is your shin. If you feel behind it, like you're on it, then you're going to go more towards your inner leg, and then you go behind that, all that muscle in there, that's engaging to help create that lift. And then that line of connective tissue, that line of musculature, that line of energy goes into your inner thigh, continues to help create that lift in your arch and that stability in your leg and in your feet, which then comes up to your next bandha and even into your core muscles, and that really helps just kind of create that secure, stable lift from your pelvis down to the arch of your foot. So activating your Pada Bandha helps not just with foot health, ankle health, but all the way up, even affecting your knee and affecting your pelvis. So this is how it really helps with your practice, because it helps you become more stable in your ankle, more stable in your foot, and up into your leg, and even coming up to which actually is your next bandha that kind of leads into, because it's this way of where it's pulling energy up, and you have these locks that kind of help hold and keep pulling the energy up through your body. So if you want to think more about your Pada Bandha, you want this because you want a healthy foot. it's really common because we wear shoes all the time and we walk on hard surfaces all the time, that it's pretty common for people to get flat feet, and this potentially to even lead to the pathology of plantar fasciitis. Plantar fascia is connective tissue on the plantar, or on the sole of your foot. The plantar fascia, fascia is connective tissue. So it starts getting inflamed because it's so overstretched, because it's so pushed down, and not like the muscles around it are not supporting your foot and your joints and your bones the way they should be, and the weight of you. So it's flattening out your foot, overstretching this connective tissue, creating irritation and then an inflammation. So it does make sense. Now, remember, not a physical therapist. I am not a doctor, I'm not a physician. I am just me. I am a massage therapist and a yoga therapist. So this is just kind of something to consider. So it does absolutely make sense in acute stages to be prescribing things like orthotics and arch support to help support your foot while it's weakened. But it's very important to remember the relevance and the role that strengthening that arch, strengthening that musculature, and strengthening your Pada Bandha is in keeping your feet healthy. So it's really important to not just engage your Pada Bandha in your yoga class to help with your balance and help with your stability, help with your grounding, but it's really important to help with your anatomical health, the health of your foot and your ankle, because, you know, yes, when you engage your Pada Bandha energetically, it keeps your energy from falling and collapsing into the ground. But when you do it as well, anatomically, it's going to help keep your foot from collapsing and falling into the ground, your arch from collapsing and falling into the ground. So it keeps your foot stable, so your ankle is stable, so your knee is stable, so your pelvis is stable. And all of this is really important for, you know, because once your pelvis is unstable, your spine's unstable, and your head's unstable, and this can just lead to all kinds of fun problems that no one really wants. So your Pada Bandha, really focus on it. Your foot lock. So ground your toes, ground the balls of your feet, ground your heel, lift your arches. And remember, don't get too caught up in just thinking of your foot, because that lift doesn't just come from your foot. It comes from the muscles all up your inner leg and your inner thigh into your groin. So that's going to help you really lift your arches and lift yourself and lift your energy. All right. Well, thank you for joining me today. I will see you on the next video where we will be talking about another bandha. If you have any questions, please comment below. Any requests, any things I didn't cover that you have a question about or you want to know more about, definitely ask. If I don't have the answer, I will find the answer or direct you to somebody who has the answer. If you're interested in getting the other videos that I'm going to be posting, you can that actually doesn't help it. You should like it anyway though. You can subscribe and ring the bell, and that will let you know when I post videos. And I will see you next time. Thank you for joining.